Well, howdy ho, good neighbor. It's been a minute since I've done an update on the Oakland recycling glass plant. So I thought I would do a small video about where the glass plant is today on Memorial Day weekend. That's right. As you can see, I finally got over here when no misters were going, and actually nothing was going. This was a dead job site. No misters, no crew members, only security only. So it was fascinating for me to see this job site at a standstill. Of course, it does not get more interesting than when all the equipment is running, so that hints why this is going to be a small video. Yes, when all the machinery's running, boy, does that make a sight to see. But with no misters, I can get down low, so that is a sight to see. I'm not really bugging anybody. So that's primarily why I came over here on this day, to see the job site at a standstill. And there you go. I could not get this low if the construction workers were here and the misters were going. So I'm always fascinated to see how much is left and how low I can go. But the problem with getting this low is your reception gets lost from your drone. So every once in a while I'll have to pull up. But I got the zoom in lens out here, and you can see how much stuff is inside there still. I mean, you think that place, I would imagine that at one time was just a mess of pipe. So I would have liked to seen that when it was in full operation. Or was it ever in full operation? A plant that size always has to close down part of it for maintenance. But yes, there's the close-up of how much is left, and there's a box that I will be paying attention to see if it's there next time I'm there. I always look for these little landmarks to see how far they have gotten. I'll look for those stairs next time I'm there. So yes, this thing is gone, a little bit at a time. So I don't think there's probably much money in that old light tin, but all the money is to be made in that big, heavy steel right down there. So the I-beams are where they make their money, I do believe. That and the copper pipe. Now, how much copper was in a glass recycling plant? Well, I'm sure quite a bit. I'm sure they have a specialty crew that goes through before the job even gets demolished to get the good stuff out. I would imagine that's what they do. You would want to go get all the copper out of a building like this and then do the destruction of the outside of it. But I don't know how they work. Maybe the homeless got in there and took out the copper first. They just started a fire across the street from the glass plant, stealing the copper, believe it or not. So there is the old frontage of the brick frontage of the building. Yep, we were waiting for that brick to come down, and they did it. And there's the end of the building, that weird little shape. So that's what's left on Memorial Day weekend, 2025, the year of our Lord. Of course, you will not be seeing this on Memorial Day weekend because I put all my videos out a little late. But this is where it was at on Memorial weekend, and I can tell you what, they still have a lot left to do. But boy, have they already taken out a lot. Look how much they've already taken out. And I did not realize how much material is still left inside there. Well, I got one more little peek inside that building, and it was not easy to get a good signal down that low. But there you go. That's what's left. And believe it or not, they are hollowing out the inside of that as we speak. That's right. That whole outside is still there, but they hollow out the inside so it'll collapse on itself like it did here. You can see where they take out the beams and the whole building just falls on itself. And you can tell right underneath that building there's a lot of water, so I see these guys, as soon as they break something up, they have to make a little path so they don't get stuck in that water. Yeah, a lot of water underneath that building. I'm sure the pumps are going full time, believe it or not. They got to have some kind of pump to pump that water out, because that is below the water table. So you can see all around the edges where the water is, and you can see where they could get stuck if they aren't very careful in the gunk and the mud. Well, that's going to be interesting to see that smokestack come down, that's for sure. So I'm going to be paying attention to all of that coming down. But to me, it looks like all they're doing right now is concentrating on this big tin structure. That's right. That's the phase that they're working on today. Now, you used to see this from the freeway for years and years and years, this odd-shaped ductwork on the top of this glass plant. And today, that weird shape is looking straight up into the sky. Isn't that fascinating to see that weird shape on the ground like that? You can see what it used to look like, but now it is gone, just like time itself. Where does the time go? And where does all this material go? I always wondered, does it go to China? Or do we melt it right here in good old USA and remake our own steel? Steel is supposed to be coming back. Everything's coming back, slowly but surely. You just got to have faith. Well, there you go. One last look at the Oakland glass plant and what is left of it today. And before I leave this video, we're going to take one last look at this, and then we're going to fly across the bay, or should I say the estuary, to see a sunken ship that I'm doing a video series on. But I always like the reveal of the building that's still left. So that's what they got left right there. The Oakland glass plant, recycling plant, is coming down right before your eyes, and before you know it, it's all going to be gone. What in the world is going to go on here? I don't know. But until that day comes, I'm going to keep filming this building being destructed. But there won't be much left to film because it's going fast. Well, there you go. One last look at that odd shaped building. Who knows what it will become, or where it will be melted, and what will it become? I don't know. So after they take that building down, they're going to have to break out all this concrete. So that is quite a job in itself. Look at all that concrete that still needs to be busted out. So if you think you're getting close to being done here, think again. I know that you got a lot of people that are working here, and a lot of people will be out of work here when it's done. Or maybe they'll just move on to the next one. I don't know. Okay, well, there you go. Your last little look at the Oakland glass plant on this day. So as I leave you with the sunken ship in the Oakland estuary, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these glass recycling plant destruction adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. Bye-bye, everybody.